Guinea-nomics, when a guinea pig talks to you about economics.
And the math that goes with it. Hi there, I'm a guinea pig, and I'm here to show you the math Rosie didn't do in her video about demand. It's not that she can't do math, it's just that someone convinced her nobody wants to see any math or have any equations put up on the screen, which is silly. Math is all around us. We just sometimes write it down in a particular way. Like here. This is Rosie's diminishing marginal utility for blueberries. This graph helps us understand a fundamental economics concept in a way that words alone just can't. We can see that she really likes the first one, and still likes the second one, but that her enjoyment of each additional blueberry goes down. It never goes up. There are some rare times when her marginal utility does not go down, and those times are when she doesn't get any utility to begin with. Like here, she gets no utility whatsoever from a toothbrush. Not even the first one. Remember that these graphs are showing Rosie's use value, not the trade value. This is how much Rosie personally benefits from the use of one or more toothbrushes. And since we can't do anything with that, let's look at the utility her neighbor Nala gets from toothbrushes. We can see that Nala gets a whole lot of utility from that first toothbrush, and it drops off pretty quickly after that. But it takes a while to go to zero. So as long as Nala is getting some utility from each marginal toothbrush, she will be willing to trade something in order to get them. But the amount she will be willing to trade is smaller and smaller for each toothbrush. So you can see that if she is willing to trade $50 for that first toothbrush, she isn't also going to spend $50 for a second toothbrush. She's only getting 20% of the utility from the second one that she got from the first one. So other things being equal, we might expect that she would pay somewhere around $10 for a second toothbrush. We would plot that as one toothbrush sold at $50 a piece and two toothbrushes sold at $10 a piece. The numbers along the y-axis here are the price per toothbrush, which we denote with P for price. And the numbers along the x-axis here are the quantity of toothbrushes that are sold, which we denote with Q for quantity. Each point along this demand curve represents how many toothbrushes will be sold depending on the price they are on sale for. And as Rosie said, demand curves always start high on the left and slope downwards. Now, you may notice that if Nala does buy two toothbrushes at $10 a piece, she ends up paying $20 total, which is $30 less than the $50 she was willing to pay for just one. She is getting a really good deal out of this. But it's still true that if she does have to pay the full $50 for the first toothbrush, she will. She is getting much more utility from that first toothbrush, so she'll pay much more for it than a second one. But in order for a manufacturer or a shop to get her to buy a second toothbrush, the price must come down, by a lot. And that much lower price will apply to both toothbrushes. The $40 Nala doesn't have to spend to get the first toothbrush is part of her surplus, those magical utils that just poof into existence as a result of a mutually beneficial trade. When the price is exactly $10, she's not getting a surplus out of her second toothbrush. She's just breaking even on that one. But she gets a surplus on every non-marginal toothbrush. Things are different, though, if she can't buy just one toothbrush. Let's say she's in a store that only sells toothbrushes in packs of 2. We've seen that she's willing to pay up to $60 for 2 toothbrushes, $50 for the first and an additional $10 for the second. If she is unable to buy just one toothbrush, she'll go for the 2-pack at any price up to $60. So the store or the manufacturer can essentially capture up to $40 worth of the surplus she had in the first example, just by requiring a minimum purchase of 2 toothbrushes. If we are in a perfectly competitive market, Nala would just go to another store that would sell her one toothbrush at a time. In a perfectly competitive market, no one seller can manipulate the conditions under which their items are sold. Someone else will always be ready and willing to offer items at their natural equilibrium price. So that's lucky for people who get to buy things in a perfectly competitive market. And now that we've seen where individual demand curves come from, we can add them all up together to get the macroeconomic demand curve by just literally adding them all together, because you can do that with money. It comes in standard units. If this is our dentist's individual demand curve for toothbrushes, and this is our mailman's individual demand curve for toothbrushes, and along with Nala, they are the only 3 people in town who would ever even consider buying a toothbrush, then we get the overarching macroeconomic demand curve for toothbrushes by adding them all together like this. A market usually has more than 3 people in it, but you get the idea. You will notice that this number on the x-axis is not the number of people who buy toothbrushes, but the number of toothbrushes being sold. This number increases both when more people buy toothbrushes and when the people who buy toothbrushes buy more of them. And the market is blind to which thing is happening, whether toothbrushes are getting distributed more widely to more people, or if a few people are buying a lot more of them. And if you watched Rosie's video about demand, you know which outcome is more likely to happen in the presence of extreme wealth inequality. And if you watched my Math of the Money videos, you know that has to do with how much a marginal dollar is worth to a regular person versus a billionaire. So when we judge economic activity by how many toothbrushes or blankets or cars are being sold, it's important to remember that it doesn't necessarily mean that more people are getting the toothbrushes, blankets, or cars they need. It can also mean that the people who already have the things they need are just getting more of them. How widely goods are distributed is not something the market cares about, but maybe we should. Rosie will be back soon to talk about scarcity, the reason not all of us can have everything we want. And I'll come back later on to talk production costs. There are a lot of equations when it comes to production costs. I am so looking forward to it. I hope I see you there. Bye for now. Oh, so many equations. I hope they let me do a really long video for that. I mean, they've been getting longer generally, but production costs, I could go on for ages.